Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
All right, well, we're back with Jon Ahlbum, who you have heard of many times before. He's the owner and the founder of the Ahlbum Group. Of course, now he has his wife involved with him. You know, John, though, the problem is now that your wife's involved, when you go on vacation, you almost have to shut down because both of you are there.
Yeah, but there's other people there that still run the place.
I know.
And we work while we're gone, so it's all the same thing.
I know. We all do that, right? Thank goodness for the cell phone, right?
Yeah.
And for the internet.
And the internet.
The one thing that I think there's a lot of confusion on is the difference in, of course, a Medicare supplement and I guess we just call it an Advantage plan. Is that how you refer to them?
Yeah, Medicare Advantage plan or an HMO or PPO.
And I heard that, are there still PPOs around?
Yes.
Okay. So
they're talking about doing away with them.
Oh, but they're not done away with yet.
They haven't yet.
Okay, why don't you just make believe you're teaching a class and you're teaching about all the various insurances that you handle anyway, because insurance is probably the most complicated and the most, I'm going to say this, confusing document that anyone ever has.
It can be, but it can be made simple too. Basically, the difference between a Medicare supplement, which is also known as a Medigap plan, and a Medicare Advantage plan, is that a supplement is freedom of choice. You can go to any doctor, any hospital, anywhere in the country. An Advantage plan is a managed care plan that they have different levels of coverage, different benefits levels. The possible maximum out of pocket with an Advantage plan is twice of what somebody would have to pay out with a supplement, including premium. And
say that one again.
Well, if you figure that your maximum payout generally with a supplement, like the one you and I have, all we pay is a premium. We don't pay any co-pays or deductibles or anything. With an Advantage plan, if you're in network, you could have to pay $6,700 out of pocket for the year. And if you're out of network, $10,000. Yeah.
I never knew that, John.
And the other drawback with an Advantage plan is that you don't have the freedom to choose. If your doctor leaves the system, you have to go find a new doctor. You can't follow your doctor. You can't go to any of the leading cancer hospitals in the country. They don't accept them. You can't go to a lot of some of the hospitals only take one or two Advantage plans. Baptist Hospital only takes certain ones. Holy Cross only takes certain ones.
And I have heard that a lot of them, not a lot, but some of them are going out of business, or at least they're not going to cover it in Florida. Is that true?
That's what I'm understanding, yes.
And so what do you think happened there?
I know. Well, they get reimbursed by the government, but maybe their reimbursements didn't come up high enough, or there's been a couple of companies that got involved in both Advantage plans and Obamacare, and Obamacare almost bankrupted them with the claims that they had. So they're drawing back on a lot of stuff.
Okay, so it's all a matter, I guess it's a matter of economics, and I'm so glad I met you, though. I have always told people that's how I know Jon Ahlbum, because I don't know how that happened. I met you, and how did you sell me this policy? I don't remember how that happened.
Now.
I don't, it's been so long, but I remember you told me that, and I said, yeah, I want to do that because, number one, I really do love my doctors, and I really want to go. The other thing, I used to watch people have to make an appointment, and let's say they had a very big burning toe issue. They had to wait till someone said, okay, if they couldn't get him, it was on the weekend. I said, why would I want to do that?
Exactly. And you go to your primary doctor and you want to go see a specialist, you have to get a referral. So you have to go back to the primary to get a referral to go see a specialist. Where with a supplement, you just call and make an appointment. You don't need a referral. You might need a recommendation, but not a referral.
And what I have found is that United American has such an excellent reputation. The one thing, it always annoys me, when you first call someone to make an appointment, the first thing they say is, what kind of insurance do you have? Like, do you have two heads or one? So, and when I tell them, though, they say, fine, they make that appointment right away. And It must be because it's a business decision, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. In a lot of cases, it is. And United American's been around. Medicare just celebrated the 50th birthday on July 1st. And United American has been doing Medicare supplements since Medicare started 50 years ago.
So who started? I don't know. You must know the history of. Tell us the history of United American.
They started after World War II, basically in a garage type thing in Texas, and grew to. They've always been a supplemental company. They supplemental cancer plans and supplemental critical illness and those kinds of things. And then Medicare came along, and it just, their being a supplement to Medicare just fit right into what they've always wanted to do. And now supplements are probably 99% of what the company does.
When you think of it, when someone's in Medicare, the Part A takes care of hospital.
Right.
People don't have to pay for that, right? That's the Medicare part, in a sense. But then they have to make a decision for what kind of care they want.
Right.
And that's where the Part B comes in?
Mm-hmm.
You're a Part B.
Right.
Okay.
Part A, well, A and B is covered by the supplement. Now, with an Advantage plan, you give your Medicare, control of your Medicare to the Advantage plan. But if you have to go in the hospital and it's not a life-threatening emergency, you have to go to something that's in their network, even if it's miles away or it's something you don't want to go to. So there's a lot of disadvantages. I mean, they call it Advantage, but I call it a disadvantage plan.
So when people come to you, you must have some sort of a chart that tells them. So the Ahlbum Group, you go to the Ahlbum Group, and of course, you're not selling the HMOs or the Advantage plans. What you're selling is the supplemental plan. So you have can someone call you and get a sheet that shows what the advantage of your supplement is compared to an Advantage plan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got printed out stuff.
Okay, so that's a good time for me to tell you how to get in touch with Jon Ahlbum. The phone number it's the Ahlbum, AHLBUM, and it's 877-970-4760. Again, and I'll give you a local number, which is 954-970-4760. 954-970-4760. And their website is Ahlbum Group. That's AHLBUM Group.com. And you can just ask for that. So and then, of course, it's better to sit with someone and they can really explain it.
Exactly.
But, maybe to see it really quickly, because the people who sell Advantage plans are very good.
Yeah.
They're very good at this, and just to go sit there and see it, and then you see the prices you have to pay for supplement. You say, why would I want to do that? Well, as we just brought up a good point. It's hidden in what you may have to pay, because I don't pay any. When I go to the doctor, I don't have to write a check for anything,
right,
in or out.
Right.
But they do, right? Do they have to do it ahead of time? How does that all work?
They might have to pay a daily copay while they're in the hospital, the copays to the doctors and to the specialists and those kinds of things, and it adds up.
Yeah, I would say it does. Now, the one thing that I have found that there are a lot of companies that are selling supplemental. I mean, we see AARP. They're selling a supplemental also. But the trick is, I think, you have to really know, pardon the expression, what the advantage of one over the other is.
Well, I think the biggest thing that United American has going for it, and us as an agency along with it, is that United American is the number one agent-sold policy in the country. Every policy has an agent. You can't call an 800 number and have a clerk enroll you. You have to be enrolled or signed up through an agent. And then the agent stays with you, and you have the agent for as long as you have the policy.
As compared to?
Well, AARP and Blue Cross and some of the others, you can call an 800 number and just give them your information over the phone, and they send you a form to sign, and you send it back, and you don't have an agent. You have a...
Really?
Right. And all of our customer service is done domestically. It's all done right in McKinney, Texas. And I know that United Healthcare, who writes the policy for AARP, I'm not sure if they still do, but for a good 2 years, they had offshore customer service and
so
agent service.
People often didn't speak English the way we're
they read
used
from a
to.
script, and that was...
Yeah. Oh, well, see, those are the things. And unfortunately, a lot of people, and that's not really true. After you're 65, you're still very smart, and, I mean, you got it all together. But it still is insurance. And if you do this over the phone, you can easily be swayed. I'm not going to say tricked, swayed for something.
Right.
So it's better, though, to try to... People really, when they even first turn 60, I think, should be looking around, don't you?
Mm-hmm. And we start at 64, when they turn 64, to offer to help them with the choices and learning and how to get signed up for Medicare and those kinds of things. And we're just here to help. We educate instead of sell.
That's a good... that's something you should have on your your business card. Educate instead of sell. Well, but I can sell for you. So, I mean, you can certainly... I mean, I'm not going to sell door to door, but if you want someone to, find out how it works, you can have them call me. But I didn't mention this, that my husband also has United American, of course. Unfortunately, I think he had it with someone else or before or something, and we never hear from his agent. And oftentimes when I leave the show, I'm going to say, I'm going to call his agent and see who it is and what's happening. But you can never switch. I can never switch it to you.
Right.
It's, the agent is the agent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, are there agents like you everywhere in the country for United American?
There's agents in every state, except Massachusetts and Minnesota, because they have their own Medicare policies.
So is it hard to become an agent?
No, you just have to fill out some paperwork. You have to get your license first, and then once you're licensed, then you just fill out a form and boom.
All right, but I would think, as you have such a good company, they just don't want everybody.
Well, they're particular about, background checks and stuff like that, too. So I've seen some people declined.
I would say that's true. But the whole part about this insurance, so most insurance companies sell a lot of insurance, different kinds, and you don't.
Right.
What do you? Just strictly cancer policy, you said, I think?
We've got a cash cancer policy.
A what? Cash?
Cash. It pays cash on the first diagnosis of cancer. We have a critical illness policy.
And what is that?
For heart attack and stroke and those kinds of things. Some final expense or small life policies. But mostly the Medicare supplement that's our, at least as our agency goes, that's our forte, and that's our main.
Well, the one thing that I think, and you weren't here, but we did a show on the Boomer Expo, and of course John Ahlbum, his organization, will be there, and you can go visit them when you come on July 26th at the casino in Coconut Creek. When people are going to sign up, though, they can't sign up ahead of time, can they? I mean, let's say, there are a few things. I've learned a lot about this from you. So if they're on an HMO or Advantage plan and they want to switch to you, they can do that anytime, yes?
They can if they're willing to say that they're misled. Then there's a rule that allows them to do it.
Oh, okay. Well, that gets into a little bit difficult, I'm sure.
No, not really.
Don't they have to prove that they were misled?
No.
Okay. But let's just say in general, when do you start selling this to the average public?
We can sell a supplement 6 months prior to their 65th birthday. So we can sell it at 64 and a half. And more people are starting to buy at 64 and a half because that way it's done. They don't have to worry about it. And all of calls they get and all of the mail they get, they can just disregard because they're already taken care of.
I do a lot of disregarding, even though, but wait a minute. So then, but let's just say that so if they're 60, they can't join anything. They have to wait for 64.
Unless they're disabled. If they're disabled and they've been on Social Security disability for 24 months, then they're entitled to Medicare.
Excellent. Okay. But let's say you're 75 and you want to change and you haven't been misled. You just say, no, I don't want to do this anymore. What do you do?
You can wait until the annual enrollment period, which is October 15th through December 7th. Or there's an annual disenrollment period from just to disenroll from Advantage plans from January 1st to February 14th.
Okay. See, there's a lot of information here that we don't have down. That's excellent. Now, I'm sure there's some people who decide they don't want to stay into United American, and I would decide, I can tell you right now the amount, because they don't have the check. They don't have the money to write the check. That's probably the only reason, right?
That happens from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, it happens sometimes, and even though they get into something else, they don't see it. It comes out in smaller. It comes out in intervals,
Right.
not all at one
Right.
time. So that's really the problem. And from time to time, we have other insurance policies, and I've looked at it and I said, oh, my gosh, we are really paying a lot of money out on insurance. But in the long run, I feel insured.
Yes, and if you've got a lot of insurance, it's the best thing in the world because you usually don't need it.
Yes,
and
that's a good thing. I love that. That's the way to sell.
Yeah,
If you buy this, you probably aren't going to need it. That's
Right.
what I don't want to need it.
it's the person that's underinsured that runs into all of the financial headaches when something does happen.
Well, I mean, I don't think you buy a car without insurance. Of course, in Florida, they don't allow you to, but I don't buy a car without insurance. Well, even when I buy some big gadget or something, I spend an extra $20, $30 to be able to have some sort of insurance. Actually, pets. I have pet insurance.
Do you really?
I've had pet insurance for the last probably 5 years now. I had one pet that died, but then I had another pet that just died 2 weeks ago, which I'm still mourning. But we just got another rescue. But I want to go back to that other pet. So I've been paying. The name of the company is a very good pet insurance company. It's called Trupanion. It's probably something you should be considering because everyone wants pet insurance. They should be getting it. So my wonderful little dog wound up with cancer. And by the time, just before we had her put to sleep, I didn't want to put her to sleep, so we were doing a lot of things. I had bills up to $4,000 to $5,000. But that pet insurance paid 90% of
that's
most
great.
of that, and I just got it back. So there is something, if you're careful and you're smart, you really should have it. And a lot of my friends now are really getting pet insurance because it's usually towards the last years of their life
Right.
that they need it. Do you have a pet?
Yes.
And you can imagine what that would be.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't for general going to the vet, generally. It's only for serious things.
Serious things, yes.
And that's when you have, we're going to take an x-ray, we're going to do that, and then all of a sudden it starts adding up. And here I already had an oncologist that was considering doing an operation until he said, I think she just is too much. I don't think you should do all this to her. Then we didn't. But I just did get a check when I got back the other day, too, from them. So I guess, and I've never had anyone that sells insurance in my family, and I don't know why I feel this way, but I really have felt to be insured. I mean, not go crazy, but just to have something, because a lot of people are, they moan and groan about this and happen, and they never got the insurance.
Right.
And so I guess as a insurance broker yourself, or as an owner of a brokerage firm, is that the correct brokerage? No, that's not a brokerage firm.
That's fine.
Okay, that's okay. You really understand all this, and you probably have a lot of friends who probably say, well, I'm not going to do that, and you have to try to convince them.
Very, very often, yeah.
And they probably have plenty of money.
Mm-hmm.
But they just think, oh, well, I have enough money, I don't have to do that. I'll write a check when the time comes. But that's not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not.
It's I think it's better just to pay the premium. So we're talking about United Healthcare. We're talking about John Ahlbum, who owns the Ahlbum Group. His phone number is 954-970-4760. It's 954-970-4760. And the website is ahlbumgroup.com, AHLBUM group.com. So when it says, let's see, I wanted to ask you about something I saw in your ad. When it says true automatic claims filing, what do other people do, and why is that so important in your company?
Well, most all Medicap or Medicare supplements have automatic claims filing now. Otherwise, you have to fill out forms and send it to Medicare or send a form to the insurance company and wait for them to process it. So with automatic claims filing, it boom, boom. Medicare, the doctor sends the bill to Medicare. Medicare pays their portion. The rest of it goes on to United American or to ABC Company or whatever, and it gets paid.
I see. Because I do have some doctors that I have to pay them, and then I get it back.
Really?
Yeah.
They collect up front?
Yeah, I have a gynecologist who I have to pay, and then they fill out the form, and then I get a percentage back.
Oh,
so what
okay.
is that? Tell me what that is.
I don't think they accept. They're not. They don't accept Medicare.
They don't accept because Medicare doesn't allow you to do both.
Right. So they send the form in for you. They file the form, but they're not actually, Medicare approved, the Medicare licensed, or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, well, let me ask you this. Is United American involved in that in any way? Do they help pay for what, like they always ask me for my, what insurance company I have open, and I'm wondering if they pay a portion of that, and that's part of what I get back. I don't know.
United American would pay a portion of it if Medicare pays. The only thing that a supplement pays is after Medicare. So if Medicare has paid a part of it, then United American would pay the rest.
So they send those to both of them, and then I get the one check, which is probably a combination.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see? Not sure how that happens. But there are then, right, yeah. One thing I've always been curious about, and you've been in the insurance business, why isn't dental insurance included? What was the idea about that?
Well, there is talk right now that dental is going to be included in Medicare.
Really?
Yeah, there's a push in Congress right now to include it.
I think it should be.
Especially where they've proven that dental health is important for your overall health. And as you get older and your teeth get older, they need more care. So that should be the age that you really have dental insurance.
Yes.
The problem with most dental insurance is that it doesn't cover anything for the first few years. The stuff you buy. It might give you one cleaning and an x-ray the first year. And until you paid premiums for 4 or 5 years, you can't go get a root canal or something because it only pays a little portion of it. So a lot of people have been straying away from it. I mean, I recommend people that they can go to a website, dentalplans.com, and it lists different discount plans and other things like that in Florida that they can enroll in. Because unless you're part of a big group, the dental insurance really isn't all that good.
I see.
But Medicare naturally is a big group with millions and millions of people in it. So it could be, if it comes to fruition, it could be very, very beneficial for people.
I think it'd be great because we know it affects the heart. It affects a lot of things when you have infection. And I can see they're not going to, of course, you're not going to have gorgeous new teeth or any of the things that a cosmetic dentist would do. But at least it would be that annual checkup, the cleaning, just certain things. That's great news. I would like to really see that. And then that would be something you would be offering your
it would be included in their Medicare.
Great. I like that a lot. I mean, Bill and I don't have insurance for it, but when they have big bills, they have this credit. You can...
Oh, care credit or something.
But you're paying. Somebody's paying that
Yes.
interest.
Yeah.
It says no interest, but then I think that the dentist charges you more, right? It's got to be somewhere there. And so it's funny, and you're very smart, and I'd like to just ask you, so if I do that and the dentist lets you go on that plan, he's already overcharging, I'm sure, to make it up because he's not getting his money to somehow. I was just thinking, why would I want to pay it off sooner as long as there's no interest sooner? Because if I do, then I've already paid him and I've already paid the insurance company. No.
True.
Have I? Am I thinking clearly?
Well, with care credit, I think that's you pay into that.
I do.
And I don't really know how care credit works.
Well,
but
how does the dentist get paid?
He gets paid by care credit. They pay him whatever his amount is.
All right, but then if we're getting no interest, how are they making money?
They've invested the money somewhere along the line.
Something's happened there. I'm going to have to because I want you to pay it off, and I said, well, why am I paying that off if there's no interest, but I think I've paid it? I'm not really sure how that works. That's why it's really good to talk to a live human being who knows things. And if he doesn't know it, he's going to find out for you. So John Ahlbum is that kind of guy, and he's going to be going on vacation soon so that you come back all refreshed.
There you go.
For what you're doing. When you go, do you bring your laptop and everything with you?
Laptop, MiFi, everything.
You just can't go without it, can you?
No.
So you don't think you could go on an island without anything on it? You could, but you'd worry.
When we go on a cruise every once in a while, and I go crazy when we're at sea and I don't have Wi-Fi.
I know that well, but it's good for you just to relax like that and do it. So, John, I don't know if I ever asked you this. How did you get into insurance? What was your first job, and why did you do that?
Well, actually, I got into insurance. My wife had died of cancer, And I had, at that point, 4 children at home, 3 little ones. My youngest one was a year and a half old.
John.
And I was selling boats at that point. And I couldn't, because of the having to go pick up at daycare and things, I couldn't stay late. I couldn't work boat shows. I couldn't work weekends. So I needed something that I could do, but if I needed to change my schedule in a heartbeat, if I woke up in the morning and one of them had a fever and couldn't go to school and I had to stay home, I could change my day. And insurance just seemed to lend itself to it. And that's how I got started in it.
John, I have a whole new picture of you. Sometimes we don't ask about people. So you were a single dad who was taking care of your children. And you have to figure that. And first you had to get over the loss of your wife, whom I know you must have loved so much, and then she has cancer, she dies. My goodness. And then you have your 3 children. Did you have a mother and father nearby?
Nope.
Oh, I can't believe this. How did you get the inner confidence and the whatever you want to call it to do that?
I don't know. I just found out that sleep became like a library or dictionary word. It wasn't something that you really did very often,
But you took care of the kids, and so you were home. You were able to be home with them, work on your stuff, and then do it. And did they all become successful?
Yes, Tim is in the agency with me, and he's like the number 1 agent in the country. My daughter Lindsay's a teacher.
Does she live here?
Yes, she's here. My oldest son Casey is a customer service manager at Office Depot, at the headquarters in Office Depot. And my youngest daughter is in marketing and blogging and stuff.
John, and I'll bet they really appreciate you. They know who you were and what you did, don't they? Mm-hmm. How long was it until you got married again?
About 3 years.
Wow, you are an amazing man. Well, your points just went up for me in a lot. Thank you for telling me that. So we appreciate you being on our show today, and we certainly hope people will call you. Remember, it's 954-970-4760. And this is The Dad, the Ahlbum Group. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.